Suffering from decision fatigue? Let's overcome together. Hey friends, thank you so much for joining me today. I just really am excited about this topic today because it is a topic that transparently, yes, I've struggled with for a very long time. I am actually the worst at this. So I come to you from a place of honesty and vulnerability. And I think it's really good to acknowledge our weaknesses. And my weakness, I have a lot of them, but my weakness that I am really working on right now is analysis paralysis, okay? And analysis paralysis, it's just like it sounds, right? It's that state of overwhelm where you're trying to magnify every aspect of a detail in making a decision because what? You want to make the right decision, right? And so you're looking at all the menu of options and you're analyzing all the pros and cons to try to make a good decision. And then what happens? You spend an inordinate amount of time on that decision to where it puts you in a place of rigidity and paralysis where you can't move forward and you're stuck. And then you end up not making a decision and it ends up being counterproductive. So this is something that I have suffered with. And let's just say what it is. It's a stronghold, right? I have these chains right here. It is a stronghold, analysis paralysis. It interferes with our the mental health, the emotional health. It can actually bleed over into relationships. It is a stronghold, and as Christians, we can every day face our weaknesses with courage and with grace. And I love a post that my mother-in-law had posted that, and I don't remember exactly the words, but it was courage is when you confront your weakness, when you take that first step to say, this is a weakness, and you move forward in it anyway, knowing that it's the grace of God that's empowering you to do so. Wow. Okay, so where do I begin? Analysis paralysis. This is the story of my life. I remember when I was picking out a dress for prom. This was obviously years ago, right? And my mom was so patient, Mama. She helped me go to all the different stores, and we were trying on different dresses. And I remember the very first dress that I tried on ended up being the dress that I bought. But we tried on countless dresses, because I wanted to make sure I had the perfect dress. I wanted to make sure that I made the perfect decision. And I ended up going with the very first one, right? And so part of this analysis paralysis, right, is that we think that there is a perfect decision. And part of the myth of analysis paralysis is there is no perfect decision. Part of what is breaking free is to acknowledge there is no perfect decision. That is an illusion, right? There are good decisions, but there are not perfect decisions. So, what is a stronghold? And why is analysis paralysis a stronghold? A stronghold is a place that has become so fortified, and it's a place that we go to prevent for attack, right? Like you see the castles with the stones, and it's that place you go into your mind when you feel threatened to ward off attack, right? And that's the place of rigidity. You think your stronghold is a place of protection, but it's not a place of protection. And that's the problem. It's just the opposite. It's your place of mental imprisonment. A stronghold is your place of mental imprisonment. It is not going to protect you. Even though you have those feelings of overwhelm, you need to identify, okay, first of all, identify when you are in a state of analysis paralysis. Do you have feelings of fear of making the wrong decision? Is your perfectionism ramped up? Do you have places of confusion or overwhelm or, oh no, what if I make the wrong decision? Just first recognize when it is that you're starting to feel like this, right? So reel all the negative emotions in, take a deep breath and realize, okay, I have analysis paralysis. Okay, so yes, no, I'm not a therapist, but I really, as I say, I hope this channel brings a lot of just honest heart-to-heart talk as we navigate, identifying issues of our old carnal nature and being able to courageously move forward in the grace of God for our lives. So anything that stops the flow of life is a disruptor, right? And so analysis paralysis, you're spending so much time, an inordinate amount of time, on making X decision, right? That it keeps you in a place of rigidity. It keeps you in a place from enjoying everyday life, and it keeps you from the time that you would spend on other tasks is being displaced because your mind is racing, thinking, did I make the right decision? So allow yourself grace. My husband always says, so what if you make a mistake? It's not the end of the world. Really, we know the sky is not going to fall out if I don't make the perfect decision. And so, my husband is trying to patiently lead me into this place of feeling to break out of this stronghold, because he knows that this is a stronghold of mine, has been analysis paralysis. I do it with everything. I mean, y'all, I can't even tell you how bad I am at it. Like, if I'm shopping and there are tons of options, I will spend so much time trying to find the best option. And so I'm really, really working on it. One thing that, for instance, let's see, what's something specific? Shopping for a new knife set. Y'all, the knife set I've had has been, oh goodness, I think it's the same knife set we had when we got married. It's not something I really think about until you realize all your knives have little splotches of rust everywhere, and you're going, oh my gosh, I got to do something about this. Not on my radar. Some of you may be horrified at that, but I just figured we need a new knife set. And so I don't really know a whole lot other than that. I know me, and I like to get the aesthetically pretty one, okay? And so, I'm looking at all the ones with white handles, and some of them have the gold on it, and I was, oh, that's pretty. So I found a set that had white handles, but then I look at the reviews and they're like, within a few days they're rusted, and I thought, oh goodness gracious, well, I don't want that. And so, what helped me is to kind of objectify, that I want quality and for it to look nice. So okay, that narrows the range, right? That you want. It can't just look nice, it has to be functional. Okay, so then I look at the reviews, and then I look at the price point. There was one set that I was looking at, and the price looked fantastic. It had a big discount, but then when I look at it, the reviews, they said, well, I think it's just really not the best option because they all rusted out in a few days, or some of them did, So I I realized I just had to make a decision. And so I just pressed the buy button. I made the best decision that I could, giving myself a time frame so that it would not remain open-ended. And you have to eventually close the loop, right? It's so interesting that overthinking, you think, okay, if I don't make the perfect decision, then something threatening or menacing is going to happen. And it's not that at all. You know, we give ourselves this stronghold room in our mind where we're holding on and we're going, oh no, what if I don't make the perfect decision? What am I going to do? What am I going to do? And that overthinking ends up being that stronghold that keeps us from moving forward. And it inhibits the flexibility and the flow of everyday life. And that's what a stronghold does, right? But we don't have to stay in that place of stronghold. We can move into that river of flow of life and freedom and flexibility, but it's a journey. It's a journey. So you have to give yourself some grace. You know, it was interesting. I was reading about the dangers of overthinking and analysis paralysis. And you have to recognize that the overthinking actually stimulates brain activity that makes you think this is going to be a difficult task, this is going to be a difficult thing, and that brain activity that is active in your brain can actually cause you to make more mistakes, ironically. So really the fear of making a mistake can cause you to make more mistakes. And so if anything, analysis paralysis is just giving yourself permission to take that next step, right? The opposite of analysis is to take the next step. So how you and I are going to combat, do you struggle with this? Comment below if you struggle with analysis paralysis. If you do, let's just courageously take that next step. So my next step right now is just trying to give myself a deadline on decisions and giving myself grace if I make, quote unquote, the wrong decision. You know, it's not the end of the world. There's still a grace if you make the decision and then you're still not comfortable with the decision. Let's see, you can take back the item, whatever. You know, there's new mercy every morning. And I just think moving out of that place of rigidity, yes, we don't want to be impulsive. The opposite of analysis paralysis is a place of boop, 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 impulsive decisions, which is not good. We want to have self-control. We want to have focus, direction, clear mind in making a decision. But I hope that you, I'll probably spend some more time on this topic, but analysis paralysis. Allow yourself to get up and move forward in that place of, it's a habitual thinking. It's habitual, you know, it has roots, and it's not going to just change overnight, but you can, as soon as you recognize it, that's when you start making the steps into a place and path of freedom. So thank you so much for joining me today. I hope if you are facing analysis paralysis, I hope that this was beneficial to you. Just know, don't be too hard on yourself. Give yourself grace and give yourself some space to make a mistake and move forward. Be blessed. You're a bright spot in my life, and hope you have the best day. Mwah!